So specifically, Lucas, what kind of balls are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about Pokeballs.
And is there a particular reason you want to talk about this topic of all others today? Because fun fact, people at home, Lucas started this Discord call by saying, Karl, let's talk about balls.
Yeah, I did. There's like a line that's not spoilery or anything, just a weird, interesting like tidbit of lore in the new Pokemon Legends Arceus game.
Wait, whoa. Did you call it Arceus then?
Yeah, because Nintendo doesn't like people saying the word "ar," so it's decided
Arceus.
that it's Arceus, and I'm like, ugh.
No, it's Arceus. You can bollocks to that. And Pokemon's one of those weird series for that, because so many people played those games as a kid and never heard the words in them pronounced out loud. So many people have wrong pronunciations of Pokemon that they refuse to correct, because in their head that's the right one. Like for me, Suicune. It's not Suicune, it's Suicune.
All of the legendary dogs are kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, as a child of like 8 or 10 years old, I don't know how you pronounce Suicune, so I just call it Suicune. Lucas, so what's this thing that happens in Pokemon Arceus?
Well, maybe we should just like go down and figure out how Pokeballs work before I mention this.
Okay, so a Pokeball, for people who don't know, is a type of item that is critical to a trainer's quest and is used for catching and storing Pokemon. Pokeballs are ubiquitous in the modern Pokemon world. Up to 6 Pokemon can be carried with a trainer in Pokeballs, while more Pokeballs can be carried in the bag for late use. And I was always confused by the arbitrary limit of 6, because that's something that trainers themselves adhere to, of like, oh, it's not fair to have like, say, 50 Pokemon. But why don't just like random people have 50 Pokemon at all times?
Because that's fair enough if like the competitive battling tournament aspect says like, yeah, enter 6 Pokemon, but why hasn't Ash got all of his 100 Tauros out at all times?
Yeah, why is he not just having all of his Tauros just pull him and his party along? Like he's like, a frontier wildman or something like that? Because I always found that baffling. It's like it's just like when you play Pokemon in our world where the people who are super into the competitive element try to tell you how to play the game. So you're not allowed to have more than 6 Pokemon. You can't have more than 2 legendaries on you. It's like, fuck off, I'll do what I want. Anyway, some Pokemon do not like to be carried around in Pokeballs, such as Ash's Pikachu. The invention of Pokeballs occurred in the Johto region, where apricorns grow. These fruits were cut apart and carved out and then fitted with a special device that was then used to catch wild Pokemon prior to the mass production of the balls that occurs in modern times under Silph Co. How the fuck is Silph Co still in business after what happened there? And it says here, Lucas, that some trainers still use Pokeballs made from apricorns, while Kurt, as you mentioned, a resident of Azalea Town, still constructs them. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, it shows that the first settlers of the Sinnoh region, back when it was known as the Hisui region, used pre-modern Pokeballs made of wood and apricorns. Because nothing says technology like fucking wood. And what is the fact you learned about these wooden Pokeballs, Lucas?
It's not really a fact about the Pokeballs, I guess, more about Pokemon. But the professor in the new game basically turns around and says to you, oh yeah, so Pokemon naturally have the ability to shrink down to a tiny size.
No!
Yeah, so I can find the exact line for you, Karl.
And you'll screenshot it. I'm guessing you took a screenshot of it for use in this video.
It just says, you'll recall, of course, that Pokemon possess the odd power to shrink themselves down.
Oh, of course, we've all known that for years.
With the Pokeballs we craft, we can make use of that power to catch them.
Yeah, all Pokemon have that ability, so why don't Team Rocket, the criminals, ever shrink down their Pokemon and sneak through people's keyholes?
So apparently all Pokemon can just become, like, smaller than a ping pong.
And no one's ever talked about it. So it says here, Lucas, in the anime, A Ship Full of Shivers, modern Pokeballs are found in the Ghost Ship, implying that modern Pokeballs were first made at least 300 years ago. According to Pocket Monsters, the animation, Pokeballs were developed to allow for various trainers to efficiently capture and train Pokemon with relatively little risk to themselves. The act of training a Pokemon often resulted in severe injuries and even death. So training Pokemon used to be like a death sport.
Yeah, and even in Legends Arceus, they're like, oh yeah, we really need your help because we've only just kind of invented Pokeballs, and going out into the wild just means people die.
Pokemon went from wild animals that will fuck you up to something they will let a 10-year-old walk up and catch because they're now so fucking, like, useless. It says here that the Pokemon Primeape was especially notorious for its violent nature and is known as being directly responsible for the creation of Pokeballs.
So Primeape caused so many deaths, they were like, we need to do something about this.
So many people getting their ass beat by a Primeape, like, we need to stop this. I love the idea in that universe, rather than maybe not annoy the giant fighting monkey thing, They went and just invented a way to like just make it their bitch. And then mechanics and design. Oh, the technology behind a Pokeball remains unknown. And I hate shit like that in fiction because all it says to me is the people who made this story are not smart enough to get themselves out of the corner they've written themselves into. The generic Pokeball's design is not constant, has been remodeled and altered innumerable times in order to create new Pokeballs that are adapted for specific conditions. Where are the ones that you can just like make them whatever colour you want? Why can't I just order custom-made Pokeballs to flex?
Do you have a favourite design of Pokeball then?
The heavy ball, the steel ones.
Oh, yeah.
It's just fucking ginormous and it looks like it hurts. What about yourself?
I really like the Moon Ball.
The Moon Ball. Oh, yeah, I know what you like. Edgelord. Edgelord McGee. Do you know one of the things I like about the Pokeball, though? Is when when the trainer tries to return the Pokemon, will they miss with that laser beam?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they fire out the laser. And I just wonder, like, how many people have been blinded in the Pokemon universe by kids running around firing that? Just, do. And then, Pokeball accuracy. In some scenarios, a Pokeball can miss the wild Pokemon completely, in contrast to breaking if the Pokeball does not successfully capture the Pokemon. And do you know what situation can occur when you miss?
No, but can you throw it at a human and just accidentally capture them inside one?
No, because it's talking about the games here, which says sometimes if a Pokemon's in the state of dig or fly, you can't catch it, but then they change that for later games, which means that your 10-year-old can throw a ball to hit like a bird a mile in the sky.
Or underground.
I imagine though, the Pokemon digs and you just drop the ball down.
Yeah.
Just drop it down the hole. And then there's just a bunch of just art of the Pokeball being thrown at Pokemon's heads and they fucking hate it. Because I think it is me and my girlfriend were just watching crap on YouTube once. I was like, do you know, have you ever seen that Pokemon turn to Dragon Ball? She's like, what? No. I went, oh yeah, watch. And I showed that episode of Pokemon Generations where Red goes and catches a Mewtwo.
Oh yeah.
And she lost her shit at the animation of Mewtwo getting hit by the Master Ball. Because he just hits Mewtwo on the head and he's like, wait, what? And it's like, duh. And he fucking hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just love that animation of just Red turns up on the back of his Lapras. He's like, oh, there's Mewtwo. Just attacks it without hesitation, turn one. Red does not fuck around in that series, does he? He's just straight in. It's like, oh, Articuno right in there. Oh, Articuno's down. Fuck it, Charizard, let's go.
Yeah.
And then Charizard just clocks Mewtwo right in the face.
That's such a good fight.
It's so good because when they started playing that remix, the original theme, I lost my shit the first time I watched that because I was not expecting it to go full Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what Mega Evolutions was when that kicked off, and I didn't realize that Charizard was going to go Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Because is there anything in Pokemon cooler than the fact that a Charizard who's sufficiently pissed off can be underwater?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because its tail can burn bright enough where even underwater it won't die.
Mm-hmm.
And it just does the Hulk Hogan of just refusing to go down.
Do you think that's just us getting back at the idea of that episode with Charmander being caught in the rain?
Yes, and it's just the Charmander's he's hiding under the leaf.
And that, obviously if you speak to anyone that watched that original episodes, it's always the Charmander episode and the Butterfree episode are the ones that made you cry, and now it's no, Charizard is so badass, he's underwater with his fire. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't care how much of a badass you claim to be. If you're around the same age as me and Lucas, you were almost brought to tears by that Charmander episode when Ash let his Butterfree go and when Ash turns to stone.
Oh god, yeah.
In
all
the movie,
of these 10-year-old kids in the cinema crying.
Because I never watched the Pokemon movie in the cinema. I only watched it a few years later. But I heard stories from friends of mine who went to see it live, and just the entire theatre was crying, and all these parents, no!
That's this Pikachu's just shocking Ash. No, come on.
It's so sad. And then, just to end on, I want to talk about that other Pokemon movie where Pikachu talks, and it's fucking weird.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Have you not seen the clip where Pikachu starts talking and it talks with a woman's voice? And
I've only heard about it and I'm too scared to watch.
It is an acid trip. It is. I did not like it. No. Pikachu is Ryan Reynolds and that's about it. And that adorable Japanese lady who does all the voices.